The main reason for this live still is to big up Isaac Buchanan. One Isaac Buchanan. You understand what I say? Yeah, man. I want to talk to the people. A long time when I do a mango tree reason, you know. So for those who just who watch the replay, remember to hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Share the live so the video can get into the algorithm. You guys have a share it. If you appreciate the content, you're supposed to share it. No, true. That's how it go. Anyway, pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Me there, man. Me there. Now, Isaac Buchanan. I don't know if you guys remember the gentleman on the screen, you know. Remember put up in picture. Hold on there. Who remember that brother? Wanna remember him? Anybody can tell me. Remember who this man is. From prisoner to millionaire, multi-millionaire. I want to tell me if you don't remember who this man is. You hear me say? That brother up on the screen, people. You remember who him is? Well, let me tell you something. Isaac Buchanan is who let me know who this man is. This man was locked up in prison for 50 years, ladies and gentlemen. 50 years, never get charged. And Isaac Buchanan get him out of prison. You always hear Isaac Buchanan say, the Constitution is your friend. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you never believe, you better believe now. If you don't know the Constitution of Jamaica, get familiar with it. Because Isaac Buchanan out here and he might do some things. Boy, the man get cartel out of prison. Using the same piece of document. Our constitutional rights. The same piece of document the man use and get cartel out of prison. Now cartel was done a millionaire already, but people, you know what said that, brother? When the man come out of prison, I remember the man say you just want some rice and butter or something like that. Very humble man. You know what them way there? Just some I must say dumpling and butter. And I say, yo, you in a prison for 50 years, my general, and you come out of prison and yo, the humility stood out to me. I understand what I deal with. Anyway, let me take him off my screen and big him up. Zane, back to the mango tree. People, no tap up the screen for me then, man. Work with me, people. Work with me. Tap up the screen. Double tap the screen like this. Double tap the screen. Double tap. Double tap. Double tap the screen, people. Double tap the screen. Anyway, soon get some light. Flick on the light there for me now. Yeah, mommy? Flick it on, you know. At 7 o'clock, you know. Anyway, let me go to the article, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Thank you. Yeah, man, turn on the outside light. That is it. Now, let me go to the article, ladies and gentlemen. Then, well, I tell you something, I feel so good. And I hope that this story motivates other Jamaicans. You understand? That's why I do the live here. Listen to this. The title that it said, government order to pay 120 million to man in prison for 50 years without trial. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you hear what them say? The man was imprisoned for 50 years without trial. $120 million. The government is ordered to pay this man. This man was a regular citizen of Jamaica, humble. I don't know him background, but I know him never have $120 million. Because if he did have $120 million, he would have got representation a long time ago and he wouldn't be in prison. You understand? Oh, big up my friend. Just text me and say she get the job. I tell her she wanna get the job, you know. I tell her she wanna get the job. I look at sis train. Hey, big up yourself, you know, moms. I know say I was gonna get the job here. I'm on the live right now. Ardeen, what's up? Bless up yourself in the Ardeen. Zane, congratulations. She get the job. Whoa, Barry get the job. Anyway, hear me I say. Back to the article, my people. It says here, what is this? Come off of my screen. Kingston, Jamaica. The Supreme Court of Jamaica has ordered the state to pay $120 million to George Williams. DF Price, big up. Don't forget that name. George Williams. The man who spent 50 years in prison. Right? 50 years in prison and 42 years without a review. The judgment was handed down by Judge Sonia Wint-Blair a few months ago. Oh, William is to receive $42 million for vindictory damages and close to $79 million for compensatory damages. 5 years ago, William, who is now 76, right, walked out of prison a free man. So 5 years ago, Isat Buchannan was the one responsible for this man coming out of prison 5 years ago. Yeah, man, remember that, man. Remember the video and everything when Isaac, the video when he put out. I not talk about 5 years ago, but remember the video, I see the video with the brothers in. When he was 20 years old, he was arrested and charged with the murder of a man, July 1970. He was declared unfit to plead and was still held in prison. Right? That's crazy. He was declared unfit to plead and still was held in prison. Mighty God of Daniel. No, sir. What is not normal? This not normal not at all. No? This worse than what me they think. No. Patricia, how you doing, love? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, who was his lawyer. But I am attributing this to Isaac Buchanan. Because I remember when Isaac Buchanan got this man out of prison. I remember. See him there? See him there? I remember this man's face. And I'm going to try to find the clip too. I'll try to find the clip. Hold on there. Isaac Buchanan. Isaac Buchanan. Helps to free man locked up for 50 years without trial. Let me see if I find it. All right. I find it. I find it. I find it. See there? See there? See there?
Today I can say, thank the Lord. My brother is out. And boy, the journey will be hard, but I'm prepared for it.
This is certainly what I like to call swift justice, and so I'm very happy to know that all of this happened in 7 days. Certainly in a perfect society, you could appreciate that this is what we want for our justice system. And so I would just implore all and plead to all defense attorneys that there are many of our brothers and sisters still in there, and we need to be able to assist them like we did for George.
It's just the beginning. We have plenty more, and we are committed to try to. We got some funds, and we got the attorney, we got the psychiatrist, and I am ready to go for all of them one by one until I will make sure that mentally ill are not locked in a prison.
I think one of the misconceptions we have about persons with mental illness.
So here we go on. This man is also mentally ill, people. That case is serious. No? The man they not even treated mentally ill good in a Jamaica to blows and skirt. In a prison system. Or you just lock up a man in a prison, never charge him. Alright, You say him do this. You accuse him of this. Him never get a review. Him never got a trial. Nothing at all. Bombard. Yo, big up Isat Buchannan
Is that
again.
their functional state is permanent and that they cannot. So Williams has been on medication and is consistently being treated through the correctional services. I must applaud him for that. And certainly that his mental facets have improved since 1970 when he was incarcerated on a psychotic state. And he has shown significant improvement. He does have some persistent psychotic symptoms, but they do not impair his ability to either engage or understand what's going on. And I say that's one of the issues that we have to deal. But the reality is that what we all agree on is that the best place for Mr. Williams is for him to be at home with his relatives and for his treatment to be provided in the least restrictive environment. And I think that's what happened to here today, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
I'm feeling so elated right now. After 50 years, and he's finally free. You know, words can't even explain how I'm feeling right now. I'm really, really grateful.
Hey, that lady here. Miss, would I love to interview you. Would I love to interview you, miss. If you are listening to this, any of your family member them of George Williams, that is his caretaker, would I love to interview you. No joke. Would I take that interview here? Seriously.
Thanks to Jamaica stand-up group, Mr. Buchannan and his team. He did a very great job in such a short time. And I hope for the rest of inmates that is in there incarcerated just the same time like Mr. George Williams, I hope justice will be served in the short space of time that justice has been served to my uncle, George Williams.
My God. Can we get a round of applause for Isat Buchannan? Come on, man. One Isat Buchannan. Portland. Splash DJ, big up. Splash DJ, big up. Splash DJ, remember that brother? Who remember that brother?
Today I can say, thank the Lord. My brother is out.
Leprechaun.
And boy, the journey will be hard, but I'm prepared for it.
This is certainly what I like to call swift justice, and so I'm very happy to know that all of this happened in 7 days. Certainly in a perfect society, you could appreciate that this is what we want for our justice system. And so I would just implore all and please all defense attorneys that there are many of our brothers and sisters still in there, and we need to be able to assist them like we did for George.
It's just the beginning. We have plenty more, and we are committed to try to. We got some funds, and we got the attorney, we got the psychiatrist, and I am ready to go for the all of them one by one until I will make sure that mentally ill are not locked in a prison.
I think one of the misconceptions we have about persons with mental illness is that their functional state is permanent and that they cannot. So Williams has been on medication and is consistently being treated through the correctional services. So I must applaud him for that. And certainly that his mental facets have improved since 1970 when he was incarcerated on a psychotic state. And he has shown significant improvement. He does have some persistent psychotic symptoms.
My heart fully armored.
Either engage or understand what's going on.
Fully
that's one of the issues that we have to deal. But the reality is that what we all agree on is that the best place for Mr. Williams is for
at home.
At home
Yes.
and for his treatment to be provided in the least restrictive environment. I mean, that's what happened to here today, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
I'm feeling so elated right now. After 50 years,
wow,
and he's finally free. You know, words can't even explain how I'm feeling right now. I'm really, really grateful. Thanks to Jamaica stand-up group, Mr. Buchannan and his team. He did a very great job in such a short time. And I hope for the rest of inmates that is in there incarcerated just the same time like Mr. George Williams, I hope justice will be served in the short space of time that justice has been served to my uncle, George Williams.
Yo, may I tell you, say, brother, my heart full, I don't lie to you. My heart full, brother. I feel good for the man and his family, brother. I feel good for the man and his family, brother. Yo, I think he easy for lock up. And I don't, he's a man of mental illness, right? And I cannot comprehend with what he must have been going through, even in that state. But me just I gotta say, based off of my limited understanding of how I am appreciative of my freedom of movement. That is why, I will never forget what they did to us in COVID. You understand what I say? I will never forget what the government did to us, this Jamaican government. I will never forget what they did to us in COVID. And you know why I will never forget? I'm going to hold it against them. Because they themselves never respected the rules that they were holding us under. They themselves have us on no movement day while Fly Green was popping champagne. You understand what I deal with? And could have go about in business and having party. They themselves did make big entities have whole heap of money, keep big party and get permit for do it. How much foreigner could have come in a Ochi in a Sentan. Remember one white lady for one interview say she feel bad, she want to see the people. You know, remember that lady there? You know, remember the lady, the white lady who say, oh, this is not what she came to Jamaica to see the people. Who remember that lady on the television carrying how you doing? Right? Even the white people them was defending us being outside and the government locked us down. And I am telling you, I will never forget what they did. There's a lot of things I hold against this government, Personally, Personally. Me not even talk about them history from back in the past. Me I talk about the last 9 years. People on the top of the screen. You understand? And, you see them come out, oh, we handled COVID so wonderfully. You understand? Them come out and say that, how much time, that they did a great job in handling COVID. When them call the election in a COVID time, and then COVID spiked up after during the election. COVID numbers spiked up. May I tell you, so there's so much things that this government needs to be convicted of in the court of law. It's not even funny. But back to the freedom of movement, ladies and gentlemen. I can just imagine, for me personally, how important freedom of movement is. What that man was going through in prison for 50 years. Every year, 365 days. Every day, 24 hours. Locked up in a cage. Can't hardly see sunlight. No good food. Just disgusting surroundings. How you doing, Belinda? Lloyd, big up. Lorna, how you doing? Right? We said the health minister signed for tourists to walk freely while them ban us from fully. Exactly. The white miller. May I tell you, brother, is a lot of things I hold against this government. If I was to remember it in one live stream and start to go through it, we probably would be here all day, if I'm being honest. Remember the pregnant girl that died on the floor at UWI hospital? Then bring a rich man from Curacao for surgery, but them allow the pregnant girl graduate from UE school to oh my God, Lord have mercy. I don't remember that one, The boy Karen, I've got to send me a link to that story there. You have got to find back that story there and send me a link. Seriously. I don't know about that one. Honestly. But I know enough. You see how Christopher Tufton? Let me just segue to Christopher Tufton look a bit and come back. Christopher Tufton, what were you thinking when you told the people in the community that if they want water, they should take the juke? What were you thinking? You thought that was a wise thing to say at the time? Were you thinking? You want to drink? Did you ever apologize for that? That's a question. I would like somebody to relay that to Christopher Tufton. Joanne, how are you doing, Joanne? Good to see you. Yes. So for the people that are just coming in, this Virginia, Mr. George Williams, a mentally ill brother, was locked up in prison for 50 years. Isat Buchannan discovered this case 5 years ago. All right? It went to court and he was freed. Right? And I guess they went to the Supreme Court and it came out today in the Observer that he was granted a $120 million. The article says the Supreme Court of Jamaica has ordered that the state pay $120 million to George Williams, the man who spent 50 years in prison and 42 years without a review. The judgment was handed down by Judge Sonia Wint Blair a few moments ago. This article was today. So today is when they came to the conclusion that this is what they need to do. Joanne Dawkins, how you doing? So he got $42 million for vindictory damages. I don't even know what that means. In this case, vindictory damages, and $75 million for compensatory damages. You cannot get back 1 minute of that 50 years. And in these types of cases, I don't think the money you ever get is enough. I don't think it is ever enough. You understand? But this man, I don't think he had $1 million in his possession. And if you check it, basically what they did was they gave him $2 million a year. Over $2 million a year for every year he was in prison. That's what I'm seeing, because 120, yeah, he got $2 million a year for, and this is Isat Buchanan's work, ladies and gentlemen. The people in Portland, let me talk to you for a minute. I am talking to every single person in Portland right now. Whether they are Eastern Portland, Western Portland, I don't know if there's a North and South Portland. What all of Portland, I want you to hear me and hear me good. You guys have been gifted. You guys have been gifted a man, a very, very special brother in Isat Buchannan. Listen to me, man. At the PMP straight, I want to make sure say the whole of Portland go orange. This is the type of representation. Somebody for the people. Oh, so Isat Buchannan spoke about the case and his life. One Isat Buchannan. Big him up straight, brother. The man is for the people, the man is for the Constitution, and the man is for justice. You can't get better than that. What more you want in one politician? A man that is about the law, integrity, justice. May I tell you, hey, Dwight, the man is 1 in a million, bro. And the man genuine. The man, I don't think that man had the money to be represented. If he never had to care enough to look up his case and make sure he come out of prison, Isat Buchannan never had to do that, you know. The man has shown me time and time again how genuine he is about the advancement and the welfare of every single Jamaican. Not orange and not green. Jamaican. You need that type of representation in office. I want to make sure say Isat Buchannan and the young lady and the nice beautiful lady over there in Portland with him, make sure say them a 1-2 punch. And make sure say them go straight through the gate and up at Duke Street when election come. Because I know say she and Isat is going to do great things in Portland. Unu can't mess this up, you know. Jamaica, unu cannot afford to mess this up. Unu make sure so unu go out and unu vote. All our young people them out there when I to follow up with politics. Trust me, I understand. I was young like you. I get it. But I want to implore you. You see, all of you guys that I work hard, I don't have no dreams them. You know what home in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years. You know what start paying on the mortgage for own a house with the land pan you have a title. You know what that? You know what the rent to own, you know what the $500,000 grant. If you're under 35, right? And you are a National Housing Trust contributor, young people who don't want progress for themselves. My sister no for who don't want have no youth because you don't have nowhere. Well, let's get on board and let's get somewhere for themselves now. There's a lot of brilliant young people out there that is being held back by a lack of opportunities. You understand? Listen to me. Karen, me know say Jamaica broke now, but Andrew time up. At the People's National Party are gonna be government. The man have to get paid. 120, you know how much of them budget? 120 million of money. 100, you now get it one time, you know. But 120 million is no money. You understand what I say? Yeah. 120 million times 100. No, that are gonna be something. And I think there's more cases out there where people should be compensated by the government. Just like what I'm saying at the thing a while ago. You understand? But me really want to encourage the people in my Portland. Yo, don't drop a ball. Please don't drop a ball in a Jesus name. This man, yo, me don't know. You know rate Marky G? You know see how Marky G going as a man of standard class, a man with brains, a man who push education, a man who have a simple plan to make sure so you have water on the pipe in a Portland. Wanna deal with Portland? You tell me, say, you don't want an MP like Isat Buchannan where you can go really sit down and talk to. And really, feed off our brain and get ideas so we can come together and make something shift and move in a Portland. A man like that you want to work with, Come on, man. Felicia Green, big up. Come on, man. Don't tell me, say, you guys don't see the gem that has been given to you. Mark Golden has been very strategic in how he places people in position. That is the mark of a true leader. Yes. Hey, Dwight, say you never tell a lie, my general. Isat Buchannan, what going Chelsea? Isat Buchannan cares more about the people of Jamaica than the current public defender that is in office right now. That's a fact. A fuss, a wadia when Andre Stevens show her on him program, me know the public defender. I never see her yet. Me never see her in one news article yet. In this whole year when me cover these things, all of these activities are going to look at baby them and so. The people them will get analyzed by police. Where was the public defender? Nowhere. Isat Buchannan was there. You understand? Spoke on it. You see him on the program, he have his own program. And he's a very, very busy man. Because there's a lot of problems in Portland. The next win we want for Portland. You see the people them, but time God and time, You see the people them will get disenfranchised and shift off what is the name? The nice attraction of Portland. Where them block off down on the river. I don't remember the name right now, but Portland, I don't know what I talk about. Zane, I want that case to figure out court, and I want Isat Buchannan help to win that case there in a court. Because on Blue Lagoon, the people, oh, wait a minute. You guys can hear me still? You can hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Lloyd Bentley, big up. Blue Lagoon, you can hear me? I don't see something my while ago like it. Something shift. Can you guys hear me? Guys, can we get at least 100 likes? All right, wonderful. So Blue Lagoon, ladies and gentlemen. More of them people they get free up. You understand what I deal with? The youth them a White River. More for them thing free up. Who else? Anybody with up on the water? You see the beach them? Yo, a whole heap of work. Hey, Marky G have a whole heap of work for you, you know? But guess what? Him a the man for the job. Because here or Marky G I go fast track. Whole heap of them thing where is a problem in a Jamaica to the people in Jamaica. Let me tell you how I go fast track it. The man is a law man. The man know how to write legislation. So you see the legislation where them are going to put out, I go benefit the people them to make sure say the constitutional rights of the people them is not violated by the government and these companies and these agencies. I saw Marky G I go mash them up, you know. And guess what? Marky G have a team of lawyer to blows and skirt. Yo, I hold up a lawyer there in the People's National Party, you know. Only say every time they care and Julius them got caught they lose. Only realize Senator Scott Matley, where the general they name him that them on the hard talk, and him are the actual lawyer for the People's National Party. Yes, man, ABI News, big up yourself. I know I'm not even listening to your voice note you send me. But I think it have something to do with when they go up on the live, and the live did that buffer. I feel like I don't know voice note about because I'm so busy to them up and down. Big up yourself, mama. And that, see me know, you know, me have good intuition. But me I tell you, say, yo, the amount of liar, I mean I talk about credible liar with the People's National Party have. Them are the right people for the job. Because not only do they know the law, but they are with the law in terms of the constitutional rights of the people. You know, say, this not really, that election is not really complicated, people. No, Jamaica, listen to me good. This election is not very complicated. It is very, very simple. Who has gone to court for your rights more than the People's National Party in the last 9 years? I ask the question again. Who has gone to court to defend your rights? You, the Jamaican people, your constitutional rights. Which government has gone to court for your rights more than the People's National Party? Nobody. The one PMP. You know, here was Senator Donna Scott say a puppy last night. You know hear what she said? The lady said they were up till 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. or something like that in the morning, telling them about the NIDS and tell them said don't push the NIDS. 17 time in a 9 year. The man got court and beat them to protect you, the Jamaican citizen. I really don't think you guys understand, you know, the gravity of the NIDS, you know. If the man them did ever put out the NIDS unconstitutionally, do you know what the implications of your life that would have on you, us, the Jamaican citizens? Where you say, Sassy, you like that question? I don't know if you don't really understand the NIDS and what the man them did really do. People, you know, some have got to review it. Me have got to review the NIDS, you know. I am going to go back and review the NIDS in its original form, what they were actually trying to achieve. Hold on, let me go up and let me see if I can find it right now. But me I tell you, say, I don't think no other government has defended your constitutional rights more than the PMP. This current PMP. And with that alone, I think you should give them your vote. That's just my belief. Because the Constitution is the highest law of the land, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Hold on 1 second. The Constitution is the highest law of the land. The Constitution defends your right, all of your rights them, all of your major rights them. Right? See, it says here, listen to this. The original form of the national ID system needs system established by the National Identification Act 2017. It says mandatory enrollment. The act requires all Jamaicans and citizens to ordinarily resident in Jamaica to enroll in the NIDS database and receive a national ID. That means you have no choice. There were some fines that were applied if you don't do it in a certain amount of time. Hundreds and thousands of dollars. Right? Comprehensive data collection. The system collected a wide range of demographic and biometric information. Right? Including full name, date, place of birth, sex, height, residence, nationality, marital status, detail of your spouse. It also collected biometric data like your fingerprints, photographs, eye color, signatures, potential blood type. This is how it gets spooky, you know, people. Your DNA. All of this in a database now. Criminal penalty for non-enrollment. Criminal penalty for not taking the NIDS. Failure to enroll without reasonable excuse could result in criminal prosecution and a fine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to imagine half of Jamaica said we're not taking the NIDS. The government was going to lock up half of us. You're deaf? Only listen to me, I say, no, man. Your actual right of refusal was going to be taken away from you. Just like what them doing a COVID. If you don't comply, them charge you. Same methodology. I don't think y'all hear me though. I don't think you're gonna hear me, you know. Me say, if you never took the NIDS in its original form, and they say if you don't have a good excuse, they didn't make it clear what was a good excuse. So that's in the air. So they determine what is a good excuse, yes? So let me read it again. It says, criminal penalties for non-enrollment. Failure to enroll without a reasonable excuse could result in a criminal prosecution and a fine. So you're going to be prosecuted and fined. Not either or, no. You're going to be fined and you're going to be prosecuted. Zine, limited privacy safeguards. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to open up your earlobes. I want you to realize how Mark Golden and the People's National Party defend on rights. Limited privacy safeguards. Concerns were raised about the lack of robust safeguards against potential misuse or abuse of collected data. What does that mean? The data wouldn't be safe. There was limited safeguards to protect your data. But they wanted to make it mandatory that every one of you complied with this. This was the information about you. Have you guys ever heard of identity theft? This would be the easiest way to steal your identity with the NIDS. The man then would have your biometrics, your blood type, I think even down to your medical records. You understand what I'm saying? You would be open and vulnerable to identity theft on the highest level. You could be framed for a crime that you never committed. You could be placed in a place where you never were with your DNA. These are the realities of the NIDS in its original form. And if it wasn't for Mark Jefferson Golden and the team in the PMP, you guys wouldn't even know that this was a bill that was being passed, because I don't now follow up no politics. I don't sit down in the yard, I don't now work, I don't have no picnic, I don't have no man problem, I don't know business about politics, I don't not even watch, and I was one of those people, so I can tell you. You guys were going about your lives. If the PMP was the same as the JLP, they would have allowed them to go through with this NIDS and all of us goose with a cook. What me say a while ago? We goose with a cook. Cook, well done, crispy, fried. Because it would have been the law. As wrong as the law was, they would have made it the law. Because they have majority of the house. People, who don't know, say the Supreme Court, Mark Golden and PMP have to carry them. For them don't push through the NIDS. Who don't never know. The JLP was adamant to push through the NIDS in this current form. Them never did press no break. Even when the PMP warned them. So it's a show. You know, in a Jamaica, when you flash out somebody, yes, sure. Top and nice, man. It don't have no sense. When them never have no sense. Well, they might have had sense, but they knew exactly what they were doing. That's something to consider. Maybe this was all intentional, what they were doing with the NIDS. In its original form, who knows? But either way, my position is these people cannot be trusted. And the People's National Party is the government, is the party that was defending our rights, still defending our rights up to this day. Look at Portmore. Look at the gerrymandering of Portmore. These people will stop at nothing. Look at what they did to the Auditor General. Removed her from the Integrity Commission. Look at the appointment of Dennis Chung. No, Jamaica. I don't understand. Oh, is taking up green shirt and jumping up for these people. At this point, getting $5,000 for your shirt and whatever else them are going just to go a conference. Is it worth a dignity? You guys are not disgusted. We can't make this up. Hey, ABR, we can't make this up. You're not disgusted. You don't feel sick in your stomach when you think about these things. Let me go upon the thing more. Hear what they say. Third-party access. The act allowed for broad disclosure of identity information to third parties, even in case of suspected criminal activity, without guaranteeing the right to be heard for the individual whose information was being shared. That means a third party could access all your information without your approval. That's what that means. See there, so I am reading from Google. The NIN as a prerequisite for passport, right? Holding a NIN was a mandatory requirement for obtaining a passport. So your national ID would have been a passport. So now, if you as a Jamaican refuse to take the NIDS, you couldn't fly. People, restriction of movement again. Oi, you better go kiss the PMP too. Hey, someone on the way fly regular. Suppose you decide you don't want this NIDS thing. On wing get cut. On wing would have get cut. Another reason for you vote for the PMP. I say that without warning, without apology. Them are people are wicked people. We draft up this ability and I try push in a parliament. Them wicked. Marlin Malawu vote. God have a proper conversation to have with you. I tell you that you is a witch, and I say that without apology. You, I say from the first day I see you, miss. From the first day I see you, I see one witch. I remember me tell you, I am not even that type of person. We believe in them something there, but when me see how you move, me I tell you lady, you look smirk, and then the other day you come talk about if a war was to break out, you know, the elections would have to push back 1 year and 6 months and these things. No, ABR. I don't think it's not Century Avenue. The woman just wicked. The woman is literally wicked. She knows exactly what she's doing, in my opinion. That lady knows exactly what she's doing. Yes, like nobody did ask her. Black Barbie, what's up? A third party have access to my info and I can see who is on my sex. So, you know, say one good argument that a third party under the original form of the NIDS could have had your information, but we can't see the sex offender registry. Make it make sense? It's Del Right, Chuck. One more reason you have to come down. Yo, me box. Hey, on a dangerous, you know. People ball out. Ball out. Ball out, man. You don't deserve to ball out, man. I tell you. No joke about that. It says here that constitutional challenge. The 2017 Act was challenged in court, and the Supreme Court ultimately ruled it unconstitutional due to the concerns about mandatory enrollment, lack of adequate privacy protection, and disproportionate penalties for non-compliance. Those were the three reasons why the NIDS was locked down in the Supreme Court, right? The mandatory enrollment. Why do we need to take that? Nobody needs to take it. What do you mean I have to take it? You're trying to force it down my throat? No, you're violating my freedom of right to choose, right? Lack of adequate privacy protection. So they would take all the information, but it was not accurately protected. What can go so? And then disproportionate penalties for non-compliance. Fined and locked up in prison. Brother, yo, me tell you, say, brother, you better thank God for Mark Jefferson Golden. Me can't tell you that now. People, for the people at the back of the class that still says that both governments are the same, I need to have this one-on-one with you right now. If the governments were the same, the 17 times that Mark Jefferson Golden and the PMP took these people to court, they would have never took them to court. They took them to court on several issues to defend our rights. I just wanted to think about that. If they were in the same, if they had the same missions, if they were working for the same people, right? Which is not us, right? If the two of them was working for the same people, which is not us, the people of Jamaica, then all of these things would have been fast-tracked. All of us would be enslaved right now. Our informations would be in third, fourth, fifth, sixth party. Some people that get locked up because they understand what is going on and they decided that they're not going to take it. And then there's the spiritual aspect of it. There is the aspect of people that believe in God and the Bible, right? And the word, and the fact that there is an identification system that they're pushing that is a part of the one world order, where if you don't have it you can't eat. You see me? Yeah. Oh yeah, the sensor just came on a while ago. I have a solar light, you know. I mean, if you get about 3 more put on the house, all around the house, even if light gone, you know, around the house is kind of lit in one way and the yard. We need 3 more of them there. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So, big up Mark Jefferson Golden. Now, something else come across my decks. We more have to share. We don't know. Zane. And then the fertilizer them. People, Annette Wagwan. Yo, John wants to. When I look on the agricultural system, what kind of government fight agriculture? What kind of government sabotage the farmer them? You know, I listen. I cannot find a good reason to even think about voting for the Jamaica Labour Party. I literally, their atrocities far outweigh. I mean, I talk about light years ahead. Their atrocities are light years ahead of any good that they did for this country in the last 9 years. And I'm not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. How do you fight against farmers? Listen, there's more than one way to fight against somebody, you know. If you see a man drowning and you don't extend a hand of help and throw a life jacket to him, you are also culpable for that crime, you know. Especially when you work for that man and that man's tax dollars is given to you to benefit him. The Jamaica Labour Party has done that to the farmers. They have put no plans in place to help the farmers. And I'm talking about every farmer, not PMP or JLP farmers. Farmers. They have not done anything. How can you support and promote and champion a party like that? How? How, Sway? How do you do that? I just can't see through it. I cannot see through it. Anyway, listen to this.
World champion Sharika Jackson may that about 10:30 p.m. Wednesday, a constable assigned to the St. Andrew North Police Division allegedly used his Glock service pistol to fatally shoot his common-law spouse before inflicting a gunshot wound to his own head. The incident occurred in the Richmond Police area in St. Mary. The police, rather the community, is reacting.
Call Maya. Go everybody here. Jesus Christ, Maya love me world without end. Jesus Christ, me can't bear it. Me can't bear it. Ask the community. Ask the community, oh man, has every Maya be?
The constable is said to be in stable condition at a hospital.
So the man killed the girl and the girl dead. And him shoot himself and still alive. Alright. Let us see what they're going to do with this guy. Let us see how much years he might get in a prison. Jano Star. Listen, I'm not defending. Can you see? Them look up personal something there is emotions and it's don't make it right. But brethren, all I brother them out there, brother, you know worth it, bro. Don't take a girl life, bro. Don't take a girl life. Cause I blame someone, you know. I blame someone sometime. I tell her that. I blame someone sometime. And you know, it's simple to walk away, you know. Yeah, man. It's simple to walk away, man. Simple thing for walk away. Just walk away. Just walk away. You're going to shoot the girl, kill the girl, and shoot yourself. The whole of your life gone now. You understand? And a lot of the times, police are wild man too, you know. Enough of police them are wild man. Why the wild man them? Why the wild man? I mean, I say that are the case for this man right here. So why go on Lesra? Why the wild man them always end up hurt the girl them? You never notice that? The wild man them, the man them will have whole heap of woman. Why don't always hurt the girl them when uno? And again, I'm not speaking about this particular case right here. Why don't always do that? When you find out so the girl them a cheat pa uno beat them up, uno worse, uno unalive them. Why not do that? Here is a person who always run up and down. You never hear them saying that Bible do unto others as you like them do unto you. You never hear about karma. What you think you do to the girl when she knows that she faithful to you and then you do that? Listen, my man, we need to do some conflict resolution in the personal space. That I gonna take some real work. Ryan Campbell, salute to you, my brother. That's gonna take some real work in the community. And it's so funny. You would need some counselors and also officers as well. You need officers that are counselors. And these officers, boy, a lot of your work is mental, you know, man. You guys need to have a steady head, you know, brother. Pause. I'm just saying. You know, you need to have your cranium focused and you know, chill. Especially if you carry a firearm. Yeah, bro, you need to cool like a cucumber, bro. Look at the police them in England. Them stand up. People can do all type of craziness around them and they will not move. Discipline. Now if you have some discipline, yo, them need to train them man in a something for. I think the mental evaluation of the officers them need to take it up a notch before they are hired in the force. Because this not look good for the force. You know, already I do a fine job, right? Taking down a lot of the youths them. People wanna hear about the brother. Hold on there, somebody send me something. Wanna hear about the brother we are 65-year-old and say done? ABI News, you see that piece of news there? Rat it.
The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, is defending its position in the pollution case against distribution and manufacturing firm Wisynco Group Limited, which was dismissed earlier this week. NEPA called a press briefing today. Our reporter Amoy Ariot was there.
We're here at NEPA's head office along Caledonia Avenue in Kingston, where the agency called a press briefing to clarify the details of the collapsed Wisynco pollution case, which surrounds a 2023 fish kill in the Rio Cobre. Now, as we heard earlier this week, the office of the DPP dismissed the case, stating that NEPA didn't provide sufficient scientific evidence. Now, as an example, the DPP said no samples were taken from the specific area in the river where the broken pipe was located. And of course,
boy, bangarang. Me know say some other vlogger go talk about this. This a big piece of bangarang. So a confusion in that territory. Mr. Peter Chambers, where there? Mark Stewart, where there? Mr. Shuttleworth, where there? Eh? Sister Carrion, where there? A confusion in that territory. So you tell me say NEPA and the DPP is going at it? Mark side, wait. Make me play that back.
Case, which surrounds a 2023 fish kill in the Rio Cobre. Now, as we heard earlier this week, the office of the DPP dismissed the case, stating that NEPA didn't provide sufficient scientific evidence. Now, as an example, the DPP said no samples were taken from the specific area in the river where the broken pipe was located. And of course, this sample would have helped to determine whether the substance coming from the pipe would have fell within the definition of trade effluent, industrial waste, sewage, or of course, polluting matter. Now, CEO of NEPA, Leonard Francis, sought to clarify why exactly NEPA didn't provide this sample. Now, he said some areas of the river, particularly where the broken pipe was located, was almost completely inaccessible. And he mentioned that it would have been dangerous for officers to, try to access this area. He said that the dam was very deep. The pipe itself was suspended on poles that were very high. And Mr. Francis said the drop to the riverbed was very steep. Now, the agency insists, however, that they feel they did in fact have a case, and they believe that the evidence they provided is at the threshold for criminal prosecution. He said they conducted 3 samples, they followed international procedures, they served the necessary instruments, and they took the necessary court action. NEPA says, however, that they do support and respect the decision from the office of the DPP. And of course, I'll have more details coming out of this press conference.
Oh, you have to say you support the office and the decision of the DPP, but yet still, a 2 more cutlass thing NEPA come with, man. 2 more cutlass thing, man. 2 more cutlass thing, man. This needs to be studied. This needs to be investigated. And I hope that the People's National Party review this case when them go in power. Miss Senator Donna Scott Motley, you have a lot of work to do, ma'am, as Minister of Justice. All the lawyers in the PMP, trust me. We're not going to work for that 300% increase that we're then going on. And the 200%. Yes, man. We're not going to be working day and night. Nights and days. Days and days. And nights and nights. Lord Bentley, big up. May I tell you? because this not sound right. On one end, the DPP is saying that them don't have enough evidence. On the other end, the NEPA is saying that they followed international laws. The pipes where they were, in terms of depth, it would have put their agents in danger, so they couldn't go to a certain length, right? Like, is it that NEPA is lacking the technology? Maybe they need some drones. I don't know. Is it that they are lacking the technology? Or is it that the DPP is doing what the DPP does? We all know what she does. When it, all right. Yo. Yo, wasn't there another case that you said there wasn't enough evidence? Was it SSL or FinSac? Hey. Oh my God, man. Is it SSL or FinSac? Can somebody remind me? Did the DPP tell us that? Let me look up too. Let me look it up. What are them people? Give me a quick second. Give me a quick second.
Conference this evening in Primetime News. Reporting for TVJ, I'm Amoy Harriet.
Thanks, Amoy. Now, Chief Executive Officer of Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, Dr. Theresa Rodriguez Moody, has added her voice to the Wisinko NEPA case. It comes after the matter was thrown out in court after the prosecution concluded it did not have enough evidence to link the manufacturing and distribution company to the release of fluids in the Rio Cobre in July 2023. Dr. Rodriguez Moody is questioning the handling of the case.
Why did we wait until this press briefing or this press release to come out and the DPP to basically drop the case before NEPA decides to come out and clarify these things? Wasn't this discussion held with the DPP? Why is this happening in such a public manner? Because then it looks like he said, she said, this is what we did, but you're saying otherwise. So there are questions, and so far they haven't been answered, except that, water quality samples were collected. But what the DPP is saying is that water quality samples at the particular point to be able to tie what they saw gushing from the pipeline to what happened in the river was not collected.
She stressed the importance of following proper procedures in carrying out regulatory enforcement.
You understand that the pipeline is supposed to have trade effluent according to their permits. Okay. You see it gushing, you see dead fish. So you looking at it, you can assume that this is the cause of the dead fish. However, this is not something that will stand up in court. You do have to make that link. So it is important to find a way to connect what you see happening with this pipeline with what is happening in the river.
To all the news.
Hey, let me tell you something. Either way, this is not good. It's either NEPA is incompetent and they don't know or don't understand what this lady just said to be true. Elga, what are you doing? And they didn't do the right thing. Or the DPP is doing what the DPP does. Boy, I tell you, boy, hold on, the DPP says not enough evidence. I believe it was the SSL case. One of them case there, she said there's not enough evidence. They said they are in bed together. Why? No. I'm just typing this. Alright. Then okay. I think it was the SSL case, man. I think it was the SSL case. DPP office rules no further evidence against Winko. This excessive. Oh yeah, she was warning about that. Read this. It says here that
Regional Manager at the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Jermaine Jones, is urging the business community in Spanish Town to change the narrative of how they view the garbage situation in the township. Speaking at the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce monthly meeting on Wednesday, Mr. Jermaine highlighted how the business community can take advantage of the economic opportunities from waste.
Our waste produces approximately 1.5 million tons of waste on an annual basis. From that, about 67% is organic, 16.8% is plastics. Now, there's several opportunities to be derived from just the organics and the plastics. I think metal and glass and so on makes up the additional. So,
and by the Justice Ministry.
Great.
That the cohort of persons who have been rostered to come to court have the capacity to do so. But where you do not have it, I am pledging my cooperation to help you to understand the system as we try to deliver this timely delivery of justice.
6 taxi operators were recognized and awarded on Tuesdays and commuters who face daily challenges finding parking in the area.
Must be revitalized.
West Kingston.
Minister Mackenzie also calls Garmex Free Zone a lasting legacy driving economic growth.
It truly came to light in the decades of the 1980s.
Day and ribbon cutting ceremony for the Garmex Free Zone redevelopment and expansion project. He noted that the range of... It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories.
Yesterday, most of them killed by police. Over 100 people have been admitted to hospital.
All right. I'm gonna end it off there, man. I had to come on here and salute Isat Buchannan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I've been too busy today. I should have put out like 5 or 6 or 7 videos today, just premieres, but that's not happened. But you know, hey, you guys keep your eyes open for the rest of the night. I might drop 2 more videos, and then tomorrow morning early, hey man, 6 a.m. first video dropping. So check that out. All right. No, seriously, big up Isat Buchannan. You see me? Maybe I should have gone to his page and heard what he said about the case. I should have done that. let me do that. Isat. Because I know it was live earlier, but you know.
And back then, you can imagine the climate of Jamaica, especially the climate that it is now, and tourism and all the things that when we talk about how we view human life, how government just generally thinks about human beings. And when we speak about government, we understand the arms of government, the executive, the legislator, the judiciary. That's what we're talking about, government and governance. We're talking about the state. So that means no state organ has taken any active steps since they had locked him up in 1975 to prosecute him. And it was purported that witnesses is still alive, or to determine, people were trying to find this out, to determine whether there was a viable prosecution. And he would have seen multiple murder convicts serve their time and return to society. And then he used to receive psychiatric reports, and they were said he was fit to plea. At one point in his incarceration, I want you to know that even his brother was locked up with him. This is very important, because there was a time when his brother was incarcerated with him at the Spanish Town, the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Facility, and certainly he his mother was the one who would advocate for him over and over. She would visit him and she'd want our son to be free. She lose our baby boy, and she spent her entire life going to the prison and advocating for the release of her child.
Wow.
He was he even protested and said, "I'm not convicted, let me out." And the warders would say, "You're convicted because you're held at the pleasure of the Governor General."
What?
He always felt that he was treated less than a human being due to his mental issues, and he was always called mad. They put him in the 23-hour lockdown, and remember, he was deprived of sex, and he wanted to just get back in mental space so he can be released. So he's locked up from the 1970 and never see the light of day. The changes, so he missed the 1980 election.
Brother, this man was locked up more than before I was even born, bro. Years. This man was locked up more than a decade before I was born. Yo, that is crazy to think about. Damn.
He will miss changes in governance, changes in the presidents of the Court of Appeal and chief justices, changes in who the DPP was. Some of the people who are DPPs now were in law school or never even finished high school when George was locked up.
Wow.
Now, something happened in 2020. Noel Chambers, a Rasta man, and I must tell you, George Williams, you've seen his photo, you can see his photo. George Williams also wears dreadlocks, and I mean, I'm not taking any political shots, but you know how the climate of being a dreadlocks and how people feel about people that have dread on them here, and there's a certain discrimination that comes with it, and how state actors feel about persons with dreadlocks.
Fuck.
So you're going around with your head picky, and you want to be seen, and all of these things. And I'm telling you, Noel Chambers died at GP. Noel Chambers was emaciated when he died, and he never received the medical attention. Wow. And he died in prison. And Terrence Williams, who at the time was the head of Indicom, he put out his report before he retired as the Indicom boss, and it had shocking information. So as a young human rights attorney, I can tell you that these things were a shock to me, because you're advocating for human rights, you're advocating for prison rights, you're doing everything necessary to just champion the cause of human rights in a time when nobody cares about human rights. Evidence is people die. I mean, even now, when we're talking about advocating for human rights, we have extrajudicial killings like it's hot bread. I woke up this morning and I heard that a police officer extrajudicially killed his girlfriend and then killed himself. Anytime a police kills somebody, it's extrajudicial killings. I'm not calling it murder. It's just a part of where the power dynamics is and how society has to respond to it.
Come on.
But in that report, we learned that there were hundreds of persons behind the prison walls, that their families either forgot about them, their family don't remember. Some family, when they went to prison as a child and they were living with their grandparents, after 50 years, the only family members that know them are dead. And so there are persons now, as I'm talking to you, still in the prison system. And 5 years later, after George Williams was set free, there is still no change from the government in terms of releasing these prisoners and having a facility. And you see, as fast as them break ground for bypass and urban centers and everything, but they never thought about taking care of the mentally ill persons who are held in prisons that ought not to be in prisons in breach of their constitutional rights.
Crazy.
Now, let me tell you something. If you ever get the opportunity to meet Pamela Green, if you ever get the opportunity to meet his brother, Mr. Jones, and we won't get the opportunity to meet his mother, who died fighting for his freedom. Her life was taken from her because all her life she lived for her son to be free. That never happened. But I can tell you this, sometime in 2020, I want to say it's the 17th of June. I want to say that. Yeah, see it? I wasn't wrong. The 17th of June. With Stand Up for Jamaica and Carlo Galato, I was advocating with them in the prison system. And John Clark, whom I work closely with. There's a man who was always sitting in that prison at that 23-hour place or the special ward. And I can tell you this, when we learned about it and I found out his name was George Williams, I got his information got all the necessary documents, and I said to him, in 7 days, the next time you see me, you'll be a free man. That's what I said to him. And I filed what is known as a habeas corpus. This very machinery. It means bring the body to me. And I filed it in the Spanish Town Court. And I can tell you this, Jamaica was shocked. The judiciary was shocked. The prosecution was shocked. Yes, the prosecutor and the learned DPP, Paula Llewellyn, QKC. We were not, as in the current judiciary, were not judges and senior judges and prosecutors and lawyers. Some of us not even lawyers at the time when George Williams was lost in this prison system. And he watched Pratt and Morgan, who committed murder and was on death penalty, leave the prison. And he can tell you stories of all the people that walked through that prison system. He was in prison with Vibes Cartel and Zeeks, and he was in prison with all kinds of people. And I can tell you this, we went to that court with the habeas corpus. There is no basis in law that this man was to be held in prison. The DPP at the time felt that she was concerned about the safety of the people in the world and whether the witnesses were still alive and justice should be served after 50 years. And I tell you, we did the psychiatric evaluation.
Sorry, my bad. Yo, this is wild, man. This is worse than I thought.
7 days back in court. 7 days, like I said. On the 17th, George walked out of the court in no time. He was out, right? And he was released on June 25th, I want to say, if I'm saying that right, or 24th, June 25th. Yeah, he was released from prison on the 25th of June. And he walked out of the court. And let me see if I can share with you guys. I recall when we left the court, a free man. And he said, freedom. And I remember, so you can see Pamela wiping her tears in the background. But George left the St. Catherine prison and a free man. And he was chanting freedom, freedom, freedom. And I remember a young lady say, yes, George, I'm going to get you some front. Like, they promise him guineas, they promise him everything. I said, oh God, George, just to get free, I want to give him everything, but have him bask in the glory of his freedom. And I can tell you that for me as a human rights attorney, and knowing, let me stick a pin here to let you know, because Carla Galata was in the courtroom. One of the main reasons, let me address this right now, why George was able to walk out of that courtroom was because of his family. He had to be released to people who love him and would take care of him, because he had mental issues. And on top of that, he's now an old man. But thereafter, had to act quickly, and because we know we have to sue the state, because this is an egregious act. And yes, we you can see it. Here it is. They say the government is ordered to pay 120 million in damages and all of these things. But let me tell you something. I don't need to get all legalese, but to say this to you. Do I think that is enough? Absolutely not.
No.
And again, a family member. You're not going to learn our name.
I told you guys the same thing. That $120 million is not even enough for what that man went through for 50 years. I agree with Isat Buchannan. That was not enough. It wasn't. You see me?
Pamela Green, because I see on the internet the vitriol about no one get little money, families coming out of nowhere. This is a young lady that never met her uncle. When him gone, she wouldn't have no memory of him. Then take him away before she even was a thought. And she stepped up to the plate for her uncle, and it was not an easy task. Stand up for Jamaica, everybody do all that they can do, and she will share her story. But just know this, setting the record straight today, if not for the love of family, his brother and his niece and her significant other and family who opened the doors, their home, to him as long as they could, and the government in its most distasteful manner. Let me tell you this, look upon her, Pamela Green, and say, take a little 4 million. Pound broke and the money, the most one I ever see. And that's how they behave. Yeah? And I see on the internet you have some very, very derelict, disgusting human beings talking about the government must appeal. But you know, I will just say this with the greatest amount of humility. what God has for somebody, no man can take away. And if the only reason God made me an attorney was to free George Williams, I have no regret. And one of the greatest feelings in my life was to see how the justice system took up the mantle, and Justice Stephanie Jackson Hazley, she was fearless and demanded answers when it was brought to her attention. 7 days after a man is locked up for 50 years, the court could have came to it, and in 7 days, everything was done and he was released. And that for me is how human rights is championed. But the freedom was just one part of it. And in comes we passed the baton because we went down to the Supreme Court immediately. She's gonna tell you all of this again, but me just have to share because Pamela never ramp. All one of the time I want to block Pamela off of my phone because I want to know she stressed me out for. And me have things to do. Me have Vibes Cartel for free. Me have state of emergency for fight. Me have DPP for war with. Me have people on TV for cuss. Me have labor rats for cuss. Me have so much thing. And Pamela just say, "Oh, we have a court or what? You think I said no?" And just like that, we are before the court, before Justice Nemard. And Justice Nemard wasted no time. I wish you could meet these judges, because they are the custos morum of the Constitution and why I know that justice works in this country. And she made Miss Green immediately his guardian. And I say, when my
you know what more of I highlight people? They look good germs them. We come at talk about the government for appeal. You see, Uno? Yo, if God was like man. If God was like man, Uno not have no heartless, no wicked, no evil. Hey. Oh God, Father, may I tell you some more time. Woo, mankind is a hell of a thing, yo. The man they make you pray some things more time. Yo, we see people like Uno. Mother just left to talk on my TV. Talk on my TV no the right punishment for going. Cause now wicked, Talk on my TV, yo, big up Talk on my TV anyway in there, yo. Talk on my TV, I right smart. Yo, if you have one government, Talk on my TV, I gonna be part of disciplinary ministry, You see when the right discipline for happen, to set some people straight, I Talk on my TV, I gonna have to go see. And film team. Yes, man. You see all them people within our society we hard to deal with, where come for us, try to destroy things, and mash up a place, where they are government official, no matter what, for you find guilty at Talk on my TV, me I say no. You remember good. Talk on my TV straight. On the terrible man, only for really say the man them for appeal. 120 million is not enough money. The man cannot get back his life. The man lost 50 years of his life. 50 years. The best part of the man's life is gone. When you was out free, partying and doing what you were doing for 10 years, you was able to do that. The man was locked up in prison, accused of a murder that he was not even tried for. There was no evidence. And I come talk about government for appeal. You don't have no dignity, not about you know. You can imagine the trauma when family go through him, loved ones them. His mother, I think his mother, him say his mother passed. She spent all her life to try to free her son. You can imagine him go through, knowing say have a mother will love him, his mother can see him in that estate there. As much as all the man have mental issues, just heartless, so brother. If you ask the man to get more money, you talk about son want the government for appeal. Yo, John Monster, yo, them people that make your settings on the internet we enough to say, They make you think things we enough to think. You know you try to live your life one way, You know? But these evil, wicked people, man, if you say something like that, one of these ghosts, me, man. Oh no? Jesus. No, sir. Mighty God of Daniel. Can't believe that somebody said that on the internet, say government fi do that. Oh, wait, Patrick. Come on, Patrick. Talk the truth, no, man. Respect me, General.
File the documents because Pamela did stress me out. There were some inaccuracies in the document, and the judge said, Mr. Buchanan, would you like to correct that? Because the court now ramped. The court want Mr. Williams to get redress. They were embarrassed. They were hurt. He's somebody's child. He's a son of Jamaica.
Yes.
The entire judiciary, the Chief Justice Brian Site Commission. I know all of this, you know. Justice Georgiana Fraser, who is now a Justice of the Court of Appeal, to have a commission, an inquiry of how to ensure that this doesn't happen again. George opened doors for many.
Hey, big up them judge there, man. This nothing happen again. This is embarrassing on the Jamaican judiciary. It's wickedness, it's evil, it's heart-wrenching. Everything wrong about it. The courts is not supposed to be sending innocent people to jail for many years, right? And not get a day. The man did not get a day in court, you know. Yo, I wonder if people understand the gravity of that situation. Do you understand the weight of this situation? You understand how heavy that is? A man got locked up and he never got his due day in court to defend himself. I don't understand people, bro. No, you know, me staying to myself is the best thing. Because it's like the more and more me experience all people wicked. Yo, man. Yo, the people that I know already, and they're close to me, hey, the sound away. But me not so open, bro. I pause. I'm not that open to just meeting new people. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Duh. Woo. Yeah, nobody. I don't want nobody to get too close to me no more, bro. The other day, a friend of mine, you know, we was having a heated discussion, and you know, I just never knew, bro. People surprise you all the time, man. Wow.
Pamela Green, the niece, and Adwin Jones, the brother of George. They are people not of many means, but they turned the justice system and proved that it could work for poor people. So with myself, John Clark, Carla Galata, the family, just the overwhelming support to know that this was never supposed to happen. And it's still happening, and many things to change. The outcome today, a claim filed by John Clark, supported, and trial kept last year, and justice delivered by Justice Blair today, ordered $120 million to be paid to George. George is now in a home, I understand, and he definitely can buy Navy Island in a Portland with the 120. If Flavor is in his accountant, he can buy.
Hold on. Isat throwing shots. Wait. Well, Isat said a while ago.
Him can buy Navy Island in a Portland with the 120. If Flavor is in his accountant, he can buy Pro Box. He can put 7 taxes out. He can put 4 old second-hand bus that cost $1,000 in America and put it on the thing. Them live at large now. So Pamela can give me a little money now and make me all go in.
Hey, you know, so we don't do that. Isaac said the man can buy some Pro Box now. And somebody old busted. Isaac, the easy, man. Yo, Big up Isat, yeah, man. Yo.
and Mr. Jones can give about $50 million out. When we done split up the money, when the money done split up, don't worry, poor. The roads are back. We'll get to you. Don't worry yourself. But anyway, I want to introduce you to Pamela Green and Alwyn Jones. And I must say this is why context matters, because we make light of every situation. But to those who want to come on here and talk about family, I go running now. Because anytime people have money when they're ready to comment with behavior, on the derelict behavior, we're not having it. I pay tribute to these family members who love their family, because love beat any kind of money. Love conquer all, and I love them and I am proud of them. So I'm gonna get a ticket for coming New York now, because first class flights and these things. Who that? Who that I come to this? Miss Cassie big daughter and I did.
Yo, big up Isat Buchannan, yeah, man. Jano Star. Big up Isat Buchannan. And big up George Williams. Big up him family members. Them actually they love him and fight for him. You understand? Fight for him freedom. You know. Yeah, man, big him up. Now, my people, I want to ask you something. The 119 of you guys watching me right now. How many of you watching me right now? I want to ask you a question. And I would love for you to contribute in the comment section. Alright? I want to hear, and if you want to call in, you can call in about 5 minutes. Right? Now I turn on the computer and go to my computer. Zine. For that segment. Alright? Because I really want to hear from you guys. I would love to hear your thoughts on this same situation with Isat Buchannan. Yes, because that's the main topic. But I want to hear from you guys. As a matter of fact, is there any labor rights in the house? Is there any labor rights in the house? No one to know. I really wanna know. Let me change up my screen, huh? Ooh, somebody a call me. Hold on. Change up my screen. Change up my screen. Where you going with, bro? Y'all hear me? Hold on, I'm not hearing. I don't know why I'm not hearing. Hold on. Y'all hear me? No, something wrong. Something just ain't right. Something ain't right. Something alright. A good thing saying call me, because right now, what happened right just not sound so safe. This don't sound safe. What happened to me? I'm doing so I switch over to my computer. So what happened to me computer? Why am I not hearing nothing out of this?
I found the car that the $2,000 per month can buy.
Wow. So this is not working? Okay. Wow. That's interesting. Mic check. Let me see. Mic check. 1, 2. Yo. Mic check. All right. Wagwan Joan, he probably would have died innocently. Yeah, he would have just lived out all his life in a prison. That's what would have happened. Don't go nowhere, guys. Don't go nowhere. Give me a second, please. Wow. When the right time come, some are gonna charge for corruption.
Jamaica free. We are good and fire come rain.
Oh, yeah, man, I mean, man, where are some general? Yeah, man. Hold on there. All right, my people, I'm back. Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. From prison to millionaire. From prison to millionaire. From prison to millionaire. From prison to millionaire, Isat Buchannan has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. Who is here? Who is here? I'm going to put up the number up on the screen so they can call him, guys. Richard Reed, what go on? We are deal with. I wonder if Akeem still there. Akeem, you there, bud? Akeem there, bud? Big up Akeem, you know. Akeem say the People's National Party not do nothing in the 18 year. Mighty God. Yo, me you tell a man, so see if a man tell me say them not do enough, me work with that, but them not do nothing? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. You can't say that. Not even close. So I am looking to hear from you guys. In the meantime, but I've got link past there now. Can I pass that to me say? If you look for one video and I'm gonna see the video. I don't see the video now. So I wanna know where really go on. Alright. Google. God have mercy. People don't want to call me, but we just have to work through it now. What you say? On the line, block anyone saying negative. Hey, we have to correct them. Sometimes we block them when they go too fast. Because, you know, just the lies. I mean, bro, come on, man. Just stop lying. Stop lying, bro. Just stop. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, you know, so I have to record this one and post it. Yes, man. Isat Buchannan. My goodness. He has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. The man has done it again. Who remember this? Who remember this man? George Williams. You remember him? Listen to this 5 years ago, ladies and gentlemen.
today I can say, thank the Lord, my brother is out. And boy, the journey will be hard, but I'm prepared for it.
This is certainly what I like to call swift justice, and so I'm very happy to know that all of this happened in 7 days. Certainly in a perfect society, you could appreciate that this is what we want for our justice system. And so I would just implore all and plead to all defense attorneys that there are many of our brothers and sisters still in there, and we need to be able to assist them like we did for George.
It's just the beginning. We have plenty more, and we are committed to try to. We got some funds, and we got the attorney, we got the psychiatrist, and I am ready to go for the all of them one by one until I will make sure that mentally ill are not locked in a prison.
I think one of the misconceptions we have about persons with mental illness is that their functional state is permanent and that they cannot take it. So Williams has been on medication and is consistently being treated through the correctional services, so I must applaud him for that. And certainly that his mental facets have improved since 1970 when he was incarcerated on a psychotic state. And he has shown significant improvement. He does have some persistent psychotic symptoms, but they do not interfere with his ability to either engage or understand what's going on. And I think that's one of the issues that we have to deal. But the reality is that what we all agree on is that the best place for Mr. Williams is for him to be at home with his relatives and for his treatment to be provided in the least restrictive environment. And I think that's what happened to here today, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
I'm feeling so elated right now. After 50 years, and he's finally free. You know, words can't even explain how I'm feeling right now. I'm really, really grateful. Thanks to Jamaica Stand-Up Group, Mr. Buchannan and his team. He did a very great job in such a short time. And I hope for the rest of inmates that is in there incarcerated just the same time like Mr. George Williams, I hope justice will be served in the short space of time that justice has been served to my uncle, George Williams. Thanks to Jamaica Stand-Up Group, Mr. Buchanan and his team. He did a very great job in such a short time. And I hope for the rest of inmates that is in there incarcerated just the same time.
So ladies and gentlemen, that's his niece right there. And she are the one of the hero them fame. You understand what I say? So big her up. Alright? She never give up. See? I want to go to the article and then I go to what Isat had to say. Alright? Did I share my screen? Oh yes, I did. Wonderful. Well, here's the guys, I open an eye in the background noise, you know. Lord have mercy. Let me just play this. Let me just play this before me. Because I can't understand why this thing have to go on so no. Sure. I think that. Alright, so here's the article, ladies and gentlemen. It says, and it's a very short article. Government order to pay 120 million to man in prison 50 years without trial. See? Kingston and St. Andrew Court of Jamaica has ordered that the state pay 120 million to George Williams, the man who spent 50 years in prison and 42 without a review. So that's 8 years in prison. No review for 40 years after that. Wow. The judgment was handed down by Judge Sonia Blair a few moments ago. Williams is to receive $42 million for vindictor damages and close to $79 million for compensatory. I'm going to go on record to say I don't think that's enough money. I don't think it is. Alright? For obvious reasons. I mean, you cannot get back the 50 years. You cannot get back those moments. You know, that's some of the best years of his life. I mean, wow, you know, it's just, come on, man. He was locked out from society, his family, emotional trauma. Man, it's just a lot. When he was 20 years old, he was arrested. 20. I want you to think about that. 20 years old, being arrested. Obviously, he has mental challenge or whatever, right? I don't mean like that, but you know what I mean. Just factor in being 20 and being locked up for something you know he didn't do, and you was there for 50 years after that, and you never got a review. You never went to court. All right. He was arrested and charged with murder of a man in July 1970. He was declared unfit to plead, but was still held in prison. So, because of his mental illness, he was unfit to plead. Why did they hold him in prison? You know what I mean? Why did they hold him in prison? So, that's the article. Like I said, it's a pretty short article, right? Now, we're going to go to what Isat Buchannan, had to say. And, yeah, here we go.
So that means no state organ has taken any active steps since they had locked him up in trial. And this is important to listen to. 50 years without ever standing trial. He was first indicted for a criminal offense on November 29, 1970. Just know that I wasn't born yet, and many of you probably weren't even around to even fathom this. This is Jamaica, 8 years and about 3 months, or 3 August, September, October, 3 months after independence, almost 4 months. And he had some intellectual challenges. So people used to say, so to use the politically correct word, he has special needs, or he had a mental illness, right? So they said that he would go to the head doctor from as far back as he could recall. He even went to Bellevue Hospital in the 1960s. Now, he was charged. However, he came out of the hospital and he's walking home one day, and they lock him up, say that he is responsible for murdering Canadian citizens. And back then, you can imagine the climate of Jamaica, especially the climate that it is now, and tourism and all the things that when we talk about how we view human life, how government just generally thinks about human beings. And when we speak about government, we understand the arms of government, the executive, the legislature, the judiciary. That's what we're talking about, government and governance. We're talking about the state. So that means no state organ has taken any active steps since they had locked him up in 1975 to prosecute him. And it was purported that witnesses is still alive. He needs some milk. Trying to find this out to determine whether there was a viable prosecution, and he would have seen multiple murder convicts serve their time and return to society, and then he used to receive psychiatric reports, and they were said he was fit to plead. At one point in his incarceration, I want you to know that even his brother was locked up with him. This is very important, because there was a time when his brother was incarcerated with him at the Spanish Town, the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Facility.
What can go so?
What did you say? Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Hey, I feel like said the whole family for sweet government. I feel like I think there needs to be a separate lawsuit. I think the family should sue the government for punitive damages. The emotional, psychological, and mental trauma that they put this family through over the years. You can't imagine him brother we got prison with him and left him in a prison. Man, yo, you can't make this up, bro. Man, you can't make this up. Lord of
We need help, Jesus.
Yeah, we do.
Jamaica need help.
We definitely
shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything.
We do.
And certainly he his mother was the one who would advocate for him over and over. She would visit him and she would want our son to be free. She lose our baby.
our baby boy, and she spent her entire life going to the prison and advocating for the release of her child. He
and even the mother passed away. No, the family need to sue. I would love to hear Isat Buchanan's opinion, professional opinion on this. I believe that the family needs to sue. Even their mother passed away in this period. You can imagine the stress that she went under. Come on now, man. Come on now, man. Come on now, man.
He even protested and said, "I'm not convicted, let me out." And the warders would say, "You're convicted because you're held at the pleasure of the Governor General."
Wow.
He always felt that he was treated less than a human being due to his mental issues, and he was always called mad. They put him in the 23-hour lockdown, and remember, he was deprived of sex, and he wanted to just get back in mental space so he can be released. So he's locked up from the 1970 and never see the light of day. The changes, so he missed the 1980 election. He will miss changes in governance, changes in the presidents of the Court of Appeal and chief justices, changes in who the DPP was. Some of the people who are DPPs now were in law school or never even finished high school when George was locked up. Now, something happened in 2020. Noel Chambers, a Rastaman, and I must tell you, George Williams, you've seen his photo, you can see his photo. George Williams also wears dreadlocks, and I mean, I'm not taking any political shots, but you know how the climate of being a dreadlocks and how people feel about people that have dread on them here, and
especially in the 1970s. Think about that. Wow.
And there's a certain discrimination that comes with it, and how state actors feel about persons with dreadlocks. So you're going around with your head picky, and you want to be seen, and all of these things. And I'm telling you, Noel Chambers died at GP. Noel Chambers was emaciated when he died, and he never received the medical attention, and he died in prison. And Terrence Williams, who at the time was the head of Indicom, he put out his report before he retired as the Indicom boss, and it had shocking information. So as a young human rights attorney, I can tell you that these things were a shock to me, because you're advocating for human rights, you're advocating for prison rights, you're doing everything necessary to just champion the cause of human rights in a time when nobody cares about human rights. Evidence is people die. I mean, even now, when we're talking about advocating for human rights, we have extrajudicial killings like it's hot bread. I woke up this morning and I heard that a police officer extrajudicially killed his girlfriend and then killed himself. Anytime a police kills somebody, it's extrajudicial killings. I'm not calling it murder. It's just a part of where the power dynamics is and how society has to respond to it. But in that report, we learned that there were hundreds of persons behind the prison walls, that their families either forgot about them, their family don't remember. Some family, when they went to prison as a child and they were living with their grandparents, after 50 years, the only family members that know them are dead. And so there are persons now, as I'm talking to you, still in the prison system, and 5 years later, after George Williams was set free, there is still no change from the government in terms of releasing these prisoners and having a facility. And you see, as fast as them break ground for bypass and urban centers and everything, but they never thought about taking care of the mentally ill persons who are held in prisons that ought not to be in prisons, in breach of
embarrassing.
Now let me tell you something. If you ever get the opportunity to meet Pamela Green, if you ever get the opportunity to meet his brother, is Mr. Jones, and we won't get the opportunity to meet his mother, who died fighting for his freedom. Her life was taken from her because all her life she lived for her son to be free. That never happened. But I can tell you this, sometime in 2020, I want to say it's the 17th of June, I want to say that. Yeah, see it? I wasn't wrong. The 17th of June. With Stand Up for Jamaica and Carlo Galato, I was advocating with them in the prison system. And John Park, whom I work closely with. There's a man who was always sitting in that prison at that 23-hour place or at the special ward. And I can tell you this, when we learn about it and I found out his name was George Williams, I got his information, got all the necessary documents, and I said to him, in 7 days, the next time you see me, you'll be a free man. That's what I said to him. And I filed what is known as a habeas corpus. This very machinery. It means bring the body to me. And I filed it in the Spanish Town Court. And I can tell you this, Jamaica was shocked. The judiciary was shocked. The prosecution was shocked. Yes, the prosecutor and the learned DPP, Paula Llewellyn, QKC, we were not, as in the current judiciary, were not judges and senior judges and prosecutors and lawyers, some of us not even lawyers, at the time when George Williams was lost in this prison system. And he watched Pratt and Morgan, who committed murder and was on death penalty, leave the prison. And he can tell you, he can...
What? What? I'll never play that back. What?
Williams was lost in this prison system. And he watched Pratt and Morgan, who committed murder and was on death penalty, leave the prison. And
a man that committed murder, actually committed murder, and got the death penalty, left prison and left this man in prison. I want y'all to think about that. How many people that actually did crimes, right? How many people that actually did crimes that got away with it? How many?
Can tell you,
and left this man in prison. Wow.
He can tell you stories of all the people that walked through that prison system. He was in prison with Vibes Cartel and Zeeks, and he was in prison with all kinds of people. And I can tell you this, we went to that court with the habeas corpus. There is no basis in law that this man was to be held in prison. The DPP at the time felt that she was concerned about the safety of the people in the world and whether the witnesses were still alive and justice should be served after 50 years. And I tell you, we did the psychiatric evaluation, 7 days back in court. 7 days, like I said. On the 17th, George walked out of the court in no time. He was out, right? And he was released on June 25th, I want to say, if I'm saying that right, or 24th, one of them, June 25th. Yeah, he was released from prison on the 25th of June. And he walked out of the court. And let me see if I can share with you guys. I recall when we left the court, a free man. And he said, freedom! And I remember, so you can see Pamela in wiping her tears in the background. Justice Nemard. And Justice Nemard wasted. Man is locked up for 50 years. The court could attend to it. And in 7 days, everything. His brother and his niece and her significant other and family who opened the doors, their home, to him as long as they could. And the government in its most distasteful manner. Let me tell you this. Look upon her, Pamela Green, and say, take a little 4 million. Down the broke and down the money.
Oh, no, hear that?
Yeah, and I see on the internet you have some very, very derelict, disgusting human beings talking about the government must appeal.
People are right there, somebody didn't want to reach. Yes. All I want to dirty-minded, evil, wicked, uncompassionate, low life pieces of shit. Anyone I want to say that I own me attack. No apology. You all are disgusted. You all, I wish what happened to this man happens to you. I pray that God put you in a similar position for you to have some compassion, some learned compassion for what this man went through. I wish that 50 years of your life was taken away from you where you can't see your mother. The best years of your life, as a matter of fact, at age 20. If you're not 20 right now, I hope God could carry you back to 20 and make them lock up your wrongfully. Yes. Anyone I want to say that. No apology. None. Uno is disgusting. Horrible human being. So you should be ashamed of yourself. Uno upset me entire spirit. How dare you even think something like that? This man should be getting 120 million US dollars for his troubles. You hear what I said? 120 million US dollars he should be getting for his troubles. Father God, give us life freely. Father God, give us days freely. You understand? There's no real monetary value you can put on that. 365 days times by 50. Someone can't even last, we are run off on the mouth, can't even last 5 months in a prison without to get crazy and mad. 50 years. The man spent 18,250 days in a prison. You hear me say? How much hours that? Times that by 24. The man spent 438,000 hours in a prison. Innocent man. All that time gone. Never to return. Mighty God of Daniel. And at some point, the minutes, they start to get longer when you spend that much time in a prison. And he was treated terribly, according to him, by the officers. Remember the time, that this man went to prison, the 70s. Rasta was being persecuted by Bustamante and the Jamaica Labour Party when they was in power. Bring them in dead or alive. Remember that? Carl Garden incident? Rasta wasn't getting any respect in the society from the upper echelon, according to them of society. Wicked people. I'm very, very happy for this man. I'm happy for his family, the ones that care about him, genuinely cared. And I hope that the family sue the government as well and get more money for all of them trauma. And I hope that this sparks other people to take their legitimate claims to court. Alright? Yes. Good. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Alright, you guys have a wonderful night. I am out of here. See you later.